Hey guys, and welcome back to my F1 2008 season on a modded F1 2014. Today, we have round number 15. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's jump into it. Well, the championship standings going into this round look like this. Massa leading Raikkonen and his teammate by 3 points. Hamilton in third, only 8 points off the top. Robert Kubica, there's 30 points still on offer for all the drivers and he's 26 points adrift. Kovalainen in 5th place, he can no longer win the championship. We've had 15 drivers score points so far this year, and I imagine we'll still see a couple more drivers grab a point or two here or there in the final 3 races. Ferrari could mathematically win the World Championship, the Constructors at least, here today, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do by outscoring McLaren. And it's going to be a dry weekend, unlike Singapore where we had rain in qualifying. So no risk of rain for qualifying or the race here in Japan. It's Suzuka. In real life, of course, in 2007 and 08 it was the Fuji Speedway. But that's not modded into the game, so we have to go to Suzuka. I know, what a downgrade. Of course, it's not a downgrade. Suzuka Circuit, been on the calendar since 1987. It's a legendary track. 15-minute qualifying session lies ahead of the drivers. With that upgraded Williams that we saw, the B-Spec car that they brought to Singapore, we could actually see Nakajima fighting for points today at his home Grand Prix. Sato in a Super Aguri. Don't think he's going to be troubling the points, but if we have another crazy race like we did last weekend, who knows, maybe he could scrape a point. I highly doubt it though. I just need a clean run through qualifying for the first time in a number of races. It's just been tough. We just need a clean weekend, let's say, because it's been a while since we've had one of those. It all starts here in qualifying. Put it in rich mix. Let's start to push and see what we can achieve. Looks like we're already going to encounter traffic on our lap. Massa sets an early time of 42.3, and that's Rubens Barrichello just parking his Honda in the way. So that's already slowed me down on this first run. And now Subtle to the top, so Massa's time really was just a warm-up lap rather than an actual push lap. And now Alonso at 36.8, that's more of a representation of what we're going to see for pole position today. We're 2 tenths down through the second sector. Now Alonso was battling for a podium in Singapore, so he is no slouch, and that Renault looked quite quick. A 37 flat then from Kubica's first lap, and he is behind both Renaults, and I think Adrian Suttle actually is in second place. Hamilton 35.6, okay, that is going to be the benchmark, so we need to improve by over a second if we want to challenge for the top spot. Up by 5 tenths on my previous best through the first sector, slightly down on Hamilton, but essentially matching him. Not really improving through that second sector, down by 7 tenths on the leader's time. And it all comes down to the Casio Triangle, which is the final chicane. And I'm sliding the BMW Sauber through those corners. Up towards the line we go then. Should still be an improvement. It's second place, but 3/4 of a second adrift of what Lewis Hamilton managed. The 2 Ferraris, they're in no man's land right now. Massa 17th, Raikkonen 18th position. They've got to go much quicker than that if they want to stand a chance at a good result today. Massa and Raikkonen first and second in the championship, don't forget that. And we're going to go out on a new set of soft tyres with 5 minutes to go in the session. See if we can get closer to Hamilton. I'm not sure if I can overcome the 7/10 deficit. But if we're starting in second place, I'd still be happy with that. As long as we're ahead of the Ferraris. And at the exact same time, Nick Heidfeld goes out onto the track. So BMW Sauber working in sync there. I've just destroyed Raikkonen on the start of his lap. Oh no! Just not looking in my mirrors. That is typical James Early performance. Not so typical of Robert Kubica. Lucky we didn't get a penalty for that. Now I know how it feels to be on the other end of it, because it always happens to me during qualifying on whether it's 2013 or 2014. And now I've done it to Raikkonen, one of my championship rivals. Saying that, I think he was finishing a lap anyway, because he's gone into second, has it been? Yeah, I think second place, and Massa in third, so both Ferraris ahead of me. Kubica down to 4th place. We've got enough fuel and enough time for 2 back-to-back flying laps. Can Kubica challenge for pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix? Let's find out. Oh, no, too much grass there. Keep it out of the wall. We'll still have time for another lap, but that is a mistake. Got to be careful rejoining. Just looking at the minimap there to make sure it's okay. Should be fine now. The thing with this mod is if you get too greedy and start cutting corners, taking a bit of the grass, it'll really send the car off on a little adventure, usually into the gravel, sometimes even into the wall. Okay, we go again. We have one last opportunity to get a good lap time in. I felt I was very cautious through that first sector because I was scared to make the same mistake. And it shows there, I'm basically matching my previous best as there's a wing on the floor on the exit of Degner 2. Might grab some slipstream off some of these slower cars. That's Adrian Suttle moving out of the way. There's another car in front of me. Oh, who's that? That is one of the Hondas, Jensen Button. Okay, we're only down by 2/10 through the first 2 sectors. Need to send it here into the Casio triangle. Oh, huge crash up ahead. Huge crash. Both drivers off Nakajima and one of the Renaults. Do I just ignore yellow flags? I don't know. I was still pushing anyway, down towards the line. Is it going to be pole position? It might well be. Across the line we go. It's still 4th place. Now, I feel like if I did get pole position there, I would have been in trouble with the stewards because I went straight through the double yellows. It would have been double yellows at that point. And I did not slow down, and I did improve on my final lap. It's Lewis Hamilton, though, on pole position ahead of Heikki Kovalainen. So it's a McLaren front row lockout here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Felipe Massa in 3rd alongside Robert Kubica. So that's the championship leader, Massa, and the previous championship leader, Robert Kubica. He's ahead of his teammate, Nick Heidfeld. Nelson Piquet Jr., maybe he was one of the ones involved in that incident at the end. I couldn't see which Renault it was. It could have been him in 6th. Kimi Räikkönen, sorry. He's only in 7th place. Maybe I did block him at the start of his lap. So he starts in 7th ahead of Jarno Trulli, Alonso and Glock rounding out the top 10, followed by another 2 Germans on row 6, Vettel and Rosberg. As Sebastian Bourdais starts in 13th in the 2nd Toro Rosso. Then it's the 2 Red Bulls, not with a great performance here in qualifying. Coulthard is behind his teammate Mark Webber. Then we have the 2 Hondas of Barrichello and Button. Nakajima, he can't do anything special at his home Grand Prix in qualifying. It'll all be relying on the Sunday race to see if he can shock the home crowd. He starts in 18th ahead of Suttle, Davidson, Fisichella and another Japanese driver of Takuma Sato in last place. So the home crowd don't have much to cheer on, seeing as their teams as well, Honda and Toyota, aren't doing too great. Honda, they're in 16th and 17th, Toyota in 8th and 10th. Now, let's see what we can do for the race. We want a victory at the very least, and we need to outscore Massa and Raikkonen by a heap of points to stay within the championship fight. And that's crucial, outscoring Massa, Raikkonen and Hamilton a little bit. Massa, I think we need to outscore by about 6 points to stay in this fight, or 7 points. Raikkonen, we need to outscore by about 4 points. So it's crucial they have essentially a bad race. And looking at the strategy, a 27-lap race, the team want me to go for a 2-stop, but we know we can stretch the tyres. I think if we switch that to a 1-stop and hopefully rely on the other top teams sticking to the 2-stop strategy, we might be able to jump ahead of them and stay ahead of them. So what we're going to do is do soft to hard, pretty much like this. So soft until lap 14 and then hard tyres to the end of the race, or lap 13, something like that. And hopefully that will give us the victory today. We know we have the pace. I know I have the pace, especially if the strategy works out. Let's get into the race. Well, there's only one more thing to do, and that's go racing. The 2008 Japanese Grand Prix is next. At the very least, we need to stick with these front runners, as we pretty much are certain they're going to be on a 2-stop strategy today. 4 lights and 5 lights, and the Japanese Grand Prix is underway. The lights weren't held for long. Hamilton getting a solid start from the lead. The 2 Finns, no, never mind, that's not Raikkonen, is it? That's Massa. Kovalainen getting a better start than Massa, and it is still a McLaren 1-2 down towards turn 1. Through turn 2 we go, and Kubica looks to the inside on Massa, and now has the outside line on Kovalainen as we head into the twisty, snaking section of the S's in sector 1. And up we go into 2nd place. So a fantastic start already as Hamilton leads out front. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bit of carnage throughout the field if qualifying is anything to base it on. And the Singapore Grand Prix, of course, had a lot of carnage at the start. So we know that is definitely a possibility as the drivers are all shuffling around and battling for positions. And we have already had 2 retirements from the race. And it's David Coulthard and Sebastian Vettel out the race. Rumour is Coulthard retiring at the end of the season, Vettel replacing him at Red Bull for 2009. That's probably not gone well, or down well, with the Red Bull crew, or the Toro Rosso crew. Essentially the same team, aren't they, anyway? So that's not a great start for them. We desperately need something bad to happen to Felipe Massa today. Right now, though, he is tucked up behind Heikki Kovalainen and in 4th place. Like I said, going into this race, I think we need to outscore him by at least 7 points to stay in the championship fight. And already there is a gap from the top 4 down to 5th place. 5th place is Nick Heidfeld, as Kovalainen sets the fastest lap. I'm pretty sure I can go quicker. Lewis Hamilton right now is holding me up. I'm not sure if it's just me misremembering the season, but I feel like it's been overcast in almost every race. I know there's been rain in some of the races, but I don't remember ever seeing a blue sky in this mod. Maybe I'm just misremembering, as we have a nice run here through 130 on Lewis Hamilton. We're getting closer and closer. Can Kubica send it under braking into the Casio triangle? No, he cannot. It's still a bit too early for a dive bomb like that. We've got to be concerned about Kovalainen and Massa behind as well, who are sticking with me. But remember, like I said, pretty sure these guys are on a 2-stop strategy. Kubica today on a 1-stop. Ideal situation for the 2-stoppers. They box twice and they're stuck behind a bunch of one-stopping drivers, and then they can't overtake. And that's how we bridge the gap back to Massa, Raikkonen and Hamilton. But the chances of that happening, probably quite slim. I imagine when they're on the fresh tyres after their second stop, the McLarens and the Ferraris are going to be rapid and make their way through any traffic just like that. If I get the lead, I could even do a bit of gamesmanship and back up the pack. That might help me out later on. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do if I get the lead. And I feel like I'm going to get the lead here. Through 130 we go. Staying really close to Hamilton. Finding the inside line and spotting the braking zone. And up the inside goes Kubica. Into the race lead for the Japanese Grand Prix. And now it's about managing the pace and backing the pack up into the chasing gaggle of cars. If we just manage the pace and drop it by a second or so a lap. I know they're going to be boxing soon on lap 8 or 9 anyway. So it's not going to be for long. But it might help me out in the long run towards the end of this race. It's actually allowed Hamilton and Kovalainen to go side by side for second. That's just given me a huge advantage. It's not exactly what I need for the long run today, though. We do need to back up that pack. And Kovalainen does make it through on his teammate, which actually helps me out. Kovalainen is not in the championship fight anymore, so if he finishes and takes points away from Hamilton, Massa and Raikkonen, that's only good for me. That lap was a 1:40.2. We're going almost 3 seconds slower than my previous best. That is what we need to do. And now Massa, I can see, has got a run on Hamilton out the hairpin. I think Hamilton's got a bit of front wing damage, so it's really harming his performance. And that is not good if Massa squeezes through. But now I think Hamilton's still ahead of the Ferrari, which he is, so that's good. Oh, Kovalainen's got a great run on me here. This is where Raikkonen overtook Fisichella on the final lap in 2005. Kovalainen going to try it. He can't pull it off, though. Not like Raikkonen could. There's a couple drivers in the pits on this lap. I think they might be repairing damage because there was a massive gap that opened up between them and the cars ahead of them on track. You can see it on the minimap now. There's quite a big gap between drivers going through the SS section and going through turns 1 and 2. Lap 8, I'm thinking we see a couple of those front runners into the pits this lap. So let's see what happens as we go around the final corner. Well, Massa is now in 3rd place, is he? Is that one of the drivers in the pits? That's got to be Hamilton in the pits, and he is. So that is the pin being pulled. This is where I have to push. And no more holding up drivers. And the rest of the front runners into the pits on the end of lap 9. I'm pretty sure some drivers will be on a 1-stop. Maybe like the back markers? If not, then my plan just isn't going to work. Well, everybody's boxed. Nobody's on a 1-stop. Everybody's on a 2-stop apart from Robert Kubica. So I have a massive lead now. And we're going to see who's in 2nd place. I imagine maybe Hamilton because he boxed a lap earlier. No, it seems Kovalainen is out in 2nd. Massa out in 3rd position. So maybe Hamilton repairing that damage on the front wing slowed him down in the pit stop. Good thing though, Raikkonen is in 9th place. So at least we're catching on him by a lot of points. But Massa being in 3rd, we'd be out of the championship fight with this result right now. My tyres are actually surprisingly quite worn. I wasn't expecting them to get this bad. Maybe it was the type of circuit. You're turning right, you're turning left a lot. Of course, you are on many circuits, but this one is accentuated maybe through the S's section in the 1st sector. I don't know. Anyway, 2 laps to go. So at lap 12 and lap 13. Then we're going to box for the option, not the option. The hard tyres, the prime tyres. Okay, Heidfeld with the fastest lap of the race. I'm happy with that. He's down in 6th place right now behind PK Jr. So any good performance from Heidfeld, if he could take positions and points away from Massa, that'd be very good. Starting at lap 13, so we're boxing at the end of this one. You can see the tyre wear there on the right hand side. We have a 23-second gap back to Kovalainen. I think we should rejoin ahead of him. My pace has been pretty good. That's another fastest lap from Heidfeld, so he's doing really well right now to put pressure on the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th positions, I think. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th positions, should I say. As we almost spin going out of the hairpin. And into the pits goes Kubica for his one and only stop of the afternoon for the hard tyres on lap 13. And today's question that you can answer in the comments: would you like me to run more modded seasons on F1 games, or do you think this was one enough and we don't need to do any more? Because I've enjoyed it. We've had to change things with the database to make it better, I think, from the start of the season. But overall, it's been a good experience, even though we're not winning the championship. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, as we are going to rejoin into this race now. It's going to be quite close between Kubica and the chasing pack. There's Kovalainen going down towards the 1st corner, but Kubica is ahead of the McLaren and holds on to 1st place. And great news is Hamilton's got past Massa, so now Massa down to 4th position. which works out perfectly. We still need him to drop another 2 places for us to actually stay in the championship fight though. So Piquet Jr. and Heidfeld in 5th and 6th place, they're on the options. Kovalainen, Hamilton and Massa are on the primes. So that means Piquet Jr. and Heidfeld will be boxing earlier than the McLarens and the Ferraris ahead of them. So my plan is, when they box, that is when I start backing up the pack again. So that means that when Kovalainen, Hamilton and Massa box, they'll be behind Piquet Jr. and Heidfeld. And hopefully I'd still be ahead of both of those drivers. That's the plan. When I was mentioning earlier that I don't think I've ever seen blue skies on this mod. Well, there's blue skies now, so I've been proven wrong quite instantly, as we've gone purple in the first sector. So even on these harder compounder tyres, Robert Kubica still has that turn of pace required to claim victory today, which I think would be our 4th victory of the season. Of course, in real life, 2008, Kubica won 1 race. He was leading the championship after that point, but he only won 1 race in his whole entire career. So we're doing better than his whole career by 4 times right now if we stay in this first place. Lap 17 now. I'm pretty sure my teammate will box at the end of this lap. Now we'll see what happens. Are they into the pits? Yes, they are. Both Piquet Jr. and Heidfeld into the pits. This is when I start backing the pack up. At least I think Piquet Jr. is into the pits. He might have just stayed out. Interesting. Hamilton boxed. Piquet Jr. has stayed out. What do I do here? Do I still back up the pack? I feel like I'm going to have to, for this lap at least. I don't back him up by much. It's only about 2 seconds a lap. It's not like I'm breaking the game. I'm sure it's happened many times in real life. Look at Kevin Magnussen, Saudi Arabia, last year when he was backing the pack up for his teammate to score a point. It's not out of the question that this would happen in real life before everybody starts complaining in the comments. I've not even been able to back them up this lap because they're so far behind me. As long as Kovalainen and Massa stay out this lap, we've still got a chance at doing this. Let's see what they are. They're boxing. They're boxing. That is not what I wanted. Well, they're all into the box, and I don't think I've helped my teammate out much, or Piquet Jr., because he's boxed on the following lap anyway. Moment of truth, really. Has Heidfeld done enough to jump any of them? I don't think he has. He's not. That's so disappointing. So it's Kubica, Hamilton, Massa, Kovalainen, Heidfeld, Piquet Jr., the top 6. We need Kubica winning with Massa down in 6th place or lower. That's not happening. Well, we've got this win in the bag with 20.7 seconds ahead of Hamilton. I'm not going to lose that lead unless I make a massive mistake. We just need to hope Massa collides with the McLarens. That's our only hope, or he just crashes on his own. Just a reminder to drop a like on the video if you've not already done so and you're enjoying the content. And hey, why stop there? Why don't you subscribe to the channel as well if you're not already subscribed? And if you want to watch even more racing content from me, check out the JE Retro channel. It's linked on my main channel page. I just cover lots of older racing games on that channel. The gap to 2nd place has come down a little bit. It's down to 18.6 seconds with 7 laps to go. They are on fresh tyres, of course, so that makes sense. We've got a few laps extra fuel, so I'm going to put it in rich mix. See if I can smash the fastest lap and really assert my dominance over the field here. It's been quite an easy race, actually, all things considered. Qualifying, I was never getting pole position. I was 5 tenths off. But the pace has been really, really strong in the race, even on the one-stop strategy. Well, it's a personal best, 37.5. I think that's 5 tenths adrift of what Hamilton set for the fastest lap. I'm pretty sure he's in the 136ers. Oh, almost losing the car there. Got to be careful not to spin. Do not want to crash right now. Though, does it really matter if I'm already out the championship fight? Not really, but I'd still like to win the races. 16.6 now to Hamilton. He's catching by over half a second a lap, even though I am running in rich mix and setting personal best lap times. 4 laps to go though, so of course his challenge is basically over. I just got to hope I've miscalculated and maybe I only needed to outscore Massa by 4 points, but I don't think that's the case. And Massa now with the fastest lap as he puts pressure on Hamilton with 3 laps to go. That'll just add insult to injury if he manages to overtake the McLaren and finish in 2nd place. It's been a good challenge for the championship. We had a really, really strong start to the season. I said before, 5 podiums in the first 6 races, and then the 6 races after that, I only had 1 podium. And I don't think I've scored a podium for the past 4 or 5 races now. It's been really, really poor, a really poor run of things. I've made so many mistakes. Maybe it's just the car. It's quite, I don't know. It's not hard to drive, but sometimes you can just make a mistake, it snaps on you, and you're in the wall and you're out the race. And that's it. That's the end. And I've made too many of those mistakes to really fight for this championship. Maybe we can frame Ferrari and say that they've got an illegal car and then the FIA just deducts points from Massa. and then we're still in the championship fight. I think that's a great idea. What do you guys think? I think I might lap the Super Aguris on the final lap here. And even if we did outscore Massa by 7 points today, we'd still need a miracle in the final 2 races, because I'd be 19 points off the lead of the championship with 2 races remaining. I'll have to win both races with Massa scoring literally 0 points. I think Sato's determined to finish on the lead lap. Davidson just lifted off and let me lap him. But Sato, in front of his home crowd, wants to finish the race. And out the final corner, another driver finishing the race. It's Robert Kubica for his 4th victory of the season. But I think he's out of the championship fight. At least I think that's our 4th victory. It might be our 3rd, it might be our 5th, I'm not too sure. But Kubica wins ahead of Hamilton. Massa in 3rd place. We haven't outscored him by enough. We needed Kubica winning the race with Massa 6th or lower, and that's not happened. Kovalainen in 4th. Heidfeld, a strong result in 5th place ahead of Piquet Jr., Trulli and Glock, the 2 Toyotas in the points. Alonso 9th for Renault, and Kimi Raikkonen 10th. No points here for the Flying Finn. He's not the Flying Finn, is he? What is he? The Iceman. Yeah, the Iceman, Kimi Raikkonen in 10th place. No points today. That really hands Massa the championship on a platter right now. I think he will go into this next race with a great chance of winning the championship in the penultimate round. Bourdais and Rosberg just outside the top 10, followed by Webber, Fisichella, Barrichello, Nakajima 16th at his home Grand Prix, followed by Suttle, Button, Sato 19th at his home Grand Prix. Davidson, the final driver, finishing the race. Coulthard and Vettel crashing early on. Well, what does it mean for the Drivers' Championship with just 2 rounds to go? Well, it means Felipe Massa, Hamilton and Raikkonen are the 3 protagonists left with a chance at the championship, and the title could be Massa's after the second to last round of the season. Kubica 22 points adrift. He can no longer win the World Championship, which means this season has technically been a failure. BMW Sauber as well can't win the Constructors' Championship, but McLaren just about can. There's 36 points for a 1-2 finish times 2 races. So 34 points adrift, McLaren could still win. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you want to, check out YouTube channel memberships and become a member of the Pit Crew. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye. I don't know why he's so excited and happy. He's just lost the championship.